It's in the middle of the night. For whatever reason, I woke up and my mind was clear. And whatever the reason, I opened up my iPhone and found someone sent me the picture of a Taranaki, the mountain and the cloud. And something triggered me, and I want to see if I can capture before I go back to sleep. This evening I was thinking about Fuke, who is the Zen monk in China with Rinzai. And Fuke is known to be very odd, peculiar, and I got the sense of why he's peculiar. The story I remember, I think this was in one of the koan, was when Rinzai and Fuke was invited for dinner, and as he went through eating, all of a sudden he flipped the tray, and that's the koan. I don't remember the specifics, but that stayed with me, and I thought about him. So if I start why I thought about him, this is the story. As I was going through some ambiguity in my mind, I start to move my hand for no reason. And then there is the sense of a transformation within me, connecting to the vibration and transparency. It is a playful move, and I could feel why it helps me to be with the source of who I am when I do that. Because if I don't, I kind of feel stale, and I just want to move. And that experience cannot be shared with anyone, but that subjective experience relating to what I call the 90% or 80% rule that Eckhart Tolle talked about, that 80% of the time you don't think. And when I don't think, there's no mind state, I have this transparency. And the funny thing happened that as I was playing with this iPhone about the picture, my friend from New Zealand sent me the YouTube. And I couldn't open it, except there was one YouTube which talked about the transparency by Eckhart Tolle. And I'm familiar with that, but for whatever reason popped up. And the transparency he talks about was about enlightenment or awakening. He was pointing that it is not adding something, but this appearance of self-identity, let's say. So you become transparent because there's nothing blocking to have this sense of transparency throughout my whole body. So that sensation, or the blissful sense, whatever you call it, is familiar with me. And after my awakening, I had those like a built in my whole body. So this may sound weird, but the sense of transparency, awakening, Eckhart Tolle's description of his enlightenment or awakening, and my experience, I know there's something similar. And also the fact that he couldn't explain what happened for many years, I had the same sense. Because it's gone, it's clear. So you don't know what's gone, because what's gone is unnecessary, And the result is transparency, clarity, awakening, the state of being, no mind, empty mind, vast stillness. And that thought of transparency and this Fuke, back to that koan, and flipping the dinner after he was invited for the dinner. Why did he do that? And I could understand that. Because our mind is clogged up with all the unnecessaries, and it's good to throw away. And that action for Fuke, the Zen monk, was just that. So that's the solution of koan, in my sense, which I wasn't sure about for a long, long time, maybe 30 years, 25 years. I read the koan, which I don't remember specifics, but I felt something enlightening, interesting. And one way of expressing Zen is like that. So I thought about a bunch of other things. One of the thought was about Picasso. I liked Picasso. This is again 30 years ago. I found the book Picasso in his words, and when I read that, I feel it's full of Zen. It's too much to talk in short time, but one of the famous expression by him is that painting is stronger than him. It does what it wants. I can picture his playing with the light and making art. That's a famous picture. But whatever the urge pops up, he does that painting. And that's the expression of that energy, something wanting to express itself. So Fuke's case is in one way, and Picasso's case is the other way. Both have some similarity, that there's an urge of something to be expressed. It may pop up like a violent, unusual manner, like Fuke throwing this tray and laugh and leave. And that's fascinating in a way. Not to be confined and releasing the energy as it is. So I see the similarity, and dancing I mentioned about, and I thought about art therapy. It's helpful for people to do some artwork. And you don't know what you paint, but it comes out naturally. I have one painting I did when I was in the Blythe Canyon, and it's in my room, and I like this. It's talking to me. Maybe I could take a picture and share it with you. So then I thought, okay, this is interesting. The power of creativity, the form of creativity may come all different ways. And there's a sense of transparency, release. And I thought about the people talking about the volcano exploding. And people thought that's the work of God. And scientifically, you may not say it like that, and you think it's crazy. But at the same time, the nature's way of expression can be seen, of course, the work of God. The mountain's angry. We have to pacify. Let's dance. That's the primitive way. And I heard the story of a tribeman high elevation in Irian Jaya, some stories about how they live. And something happens and then the whole town or the village quit because something not natural happened. So they don't want to do anything. And they take a day off because maybe someone died or something unnatural happened. To pacify, to calm down, they don't work the whole day. And it makes sense. Or the logic in the mind tells you what to do, what mechanical procedure you have to follow, some bureaucratic. There's a good reason that's there. But there's a certain point when you need to erupt. And if I think about what's going on in the world, climate change, war, gunfighting, January 6th hearing, Trump, all sorts of things. Mr. Abe, the Prime Minister, previous, got killed. It's like an eruption. And we don't know what causes. But it's as if this volcano erupting, the universe may need to process it in some way or the other. It's painful, but we need to listen and appreciate and stay put to figure out, be respectful to what we see, instead of arbitrarily make some conclusion because of certain narrowly defined logic. So Fuke is flipping the dinner plate. Picasso, mountain and the cloud, and people responding with interesting comment that this person is moving to Taranaki for whatever reason. And I listened to Eckhart Tolle talking about his enlightenment and connecting to what I felt. There's lots of resonance. So, in a way, I feel like dancing, and I'm dancing. Dancing with my words, imagination. It's not the painting, but the little utterance, the words. And my mind is synthesizing that and making sense of it in this silence. And as Eckhart talked about, it's disappearance, letting unnecessary to go away, to be transparent and clear, connected to the source, beyond logic. Human logic, human mind has limitation. Let's do the painting, art therapy, Picasso's way, or sculpture, or dancing, or playing the pickleball, or jump into the water and swim with the shark. There's that urge that happens out of somewhere, as if a release for transparency or the connection to the source. Fuke is an interesting guy. He lived 1,000 years ago, perhaps. I can feel we have Fuke, the source of creativity within us, because we came from there, and the source is functioning in many different ways. With the third eye, with a sense of vibration, resonance, transparency, beyond the logic and the mind, we can throw away the corrupt mind, be transparent, and have a nice sleep, as I may go back to sleep. But I thought I wanted to capture some of that for us to have a good rest, be transparent, be awakened. May peace be with you. Thank you.